Habibis, welcome. It's another Twitch stream, but this is an episode of The Balance. I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Dr. Jason Nichols.
And Doc, wow, this past week, I want to say it was crazy, but not crazy enough. And that leads me to believe that with 2 days left in October, we still have yet to see the major October surprise. I feel like it's going to drop today. And I got to say, uh the last Friday before election day of 2016, I had the epiphany that Trump was going to win the election based on what I saw in the polling data. So I'm going to go through this with you for the next hour and just really try to see if I'm going to have a similar epiphany to thinking that Trump is going to win. My original prediction was I'm going to pull up my electoral college map that I predicted the other night on Habibi Power Hour, and then we'll just try to go through some of the stuff that's happening this week. But first of all, you sent me this article about some of the political scientists and what they're making about the 2020 map, and so this is from UC Riverside. Um, what are some of the biggest takeaways you've seen so far, and at least from this article that stands out to you?
So, what stands out to me really is that they seem to be decided on the fact that Texas is going to go red, that New Mexico is going to go red, um, and they're undecided on states that I think the polls are leaning pretty solidly blue.
Mm-hmm.
So they're undecided on Arizona, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. I think I think Pennsylvania is a genuine toss up.
Mm-hmm.
I think North Carolina is a genuine toss up. I think Florida and Georgia are genuine toss ups, but I'm expecting them to go to red. So if what this map is saying is correct, that bodes very poorly for Democrats. Um, I also think that some of these states that they have shaded red are also really toss ups, like they're quiet toss ups.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Montana is a quiet toss up.
Yeah, well, that
Poll,
what is that? 3 electoral votes.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean it's still,
you need every vote, yeah, for sure.
yeah. I mean, I posted a map that someone put on your thread where it came out 269 to 269, and
I,
maybe that was a joke. I don't know.
it's too nice and too nice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that was a joke. Actually, I should probably pull
Well,
that down.
no, I mean the thing is, there's there's really like let's go look at what could cause a 269 tie, because we absolutely could get that. It is genuine. This it's 2020. It's genuinely terrifying to think that uh uh the 269. Oh, here we go. It's the last thing I have pulled up, a 269 tie. If you look at it right here, we got Wisconsin going for Trump, Ohio, North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Texas, and Arizona. And then you have one of the electoral votes in Nebraska going to Biden, and then
That alien
one.
kind of hot. Feel the same? Did you just
Sorry, hold on 1 second. I gotta
Right.
I gotta mute switch.
Yeah, you gotta mute it. Mute it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, you good. And then what in Maine you got one of the electoral college votes going to Trump. So that's what would make a 269 tie. And that would
I
be
mean, that is unfortunately, that is a very possible outcome. Like that is possible. I don't think it'll happen, but I think it's very possible.
God.
But from the map we were looking at a second ago from the political scientists, like I said, I think Montana, Iowa, and Ohio are all toss ups. They're all within 2 points.
It's
Um,
and you always have to remember that if you give the silent Trump voter additional support, because you know that there's going to be um, pollsters that don't get the full picture. Of course, they try to account for the what's it called? They try to account for the. Oh man, am I really that low? Let's try to push that up. Sorry, I thought I was gonna be. Now I can hear myself a little bit better. I don't know if the Habibis can hear me any better. But when you got some of these states with the margin of error that they got, some are 4, some are 3, some are 5 points. It's honestly, I could see it really. A lot of the states that you think that Biden is in the lead could very well go for Trump. So, I mean, we can even pull up the what's it called? The hold on one second. I'm trying to pull up the chat here because it's getting cut off.
My fear is definitely Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania could go for Trump. And I think,
Pennsylvania is absolutely critical for him in order to win.
Yeah, no, I don't see Trump winning without Pennsylvania. If he can steal one of these Midwest states, like if he could steal,
Wisconsin or
Michigan or Minnesota, it gets really tough for Democrats because that means they got to pull out Georgia or Florida.
Yeah, no, I don't know if the numbers are there for Biden in Florida. And this is so weird. And then this was a poll I was looking at earlier. Let me pull this up. It's in my bookmarks while the battleground states are kind of coming up. But essentially, what we're seeing is that Trump. This is it. So swing to Trump from 2016 to 2020. So he loses 8 points on white non-college voters, educated voters. He loses a 19 point. He loses 19% or what is 19 points on white college educated voters, but he gains 3 points in black voters and 11 points in Hispanic voters. That's not good at all for Trump, because if you think of the makeup of this country, there are far more white people than there are Hispanics and blacks. And, maybe there's like a mix here and there, like with Hispanics, with, identifying as white. But by and large, that is a huge drop off. And with Trump winning by only, what was it? What was the margin of victory in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin? It was all like
77,000 votes, I think,
in Pennsylvania, and then 44,000 in Wisconsin. It was bad. Let's just pull it up just so we get the numbers right. 2016.
And I
go ahead.
No, I'll say this: if Trump, it's all about where they're located, and like you're right, there are far more white people than black people in the country, but a lot of those black people are in a state like Georgia and North Carolina, which is, now, because of all the black and Latino people in Georgia, which used to be like primarily white with a decent sized black population, but now it's like big black and Latino population in Georgia, carried by the Atlanta area. I think, that's what could carry Biden to victory.
Yeah.
Is those places, are those urban areas. Like, is Biden going to win Tennessee? Probably not. No. You know what I mean? Is he going to win West Virginia? Even though people forget Obama won West Virginia in 2008. Shows you how things have kind of shifted. Probably not.
Obama won West Virginia in 2008?
Yeah.
Wow. Biden, I know he won Indiana. That was a big time win, but I didn't realize that he also got West Virginia too.
Yeah, he got West Virginia in 2008, not in 2012, but 2008.
Right, not in 2012. I remember that. Yeah.
And if you can't win, part of the reason he won Pennsylvania in 2008 was Joe Biden.
Mhm.
That was the whole purpose.
Yeah,
to take Joe.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and this is the difference here. And I think you're probably, I don't know if you're in the same camp as me, but it makes sense for. Look, I understand that Democrats are probably terrified of what's going to happen on Tuesday, but I imagine there's a lot more fear on the Republican side of the aisle because what they stand to lose, and interestingly enough. There is a lot more to lose, I think, for Republicans than there is for Democrats. You get another term of Trump, and things kind of, I'm sure Trump will try to engage in policies that are wildly unpopular because it's a second term and he wouldn't have to run for re-election, unless, of course, he tears up the Constitution and runs for a third term, which, of course, that is some of the hyperbole that you've seen from the Lincoln Project. But the thing is, when you look at the differences between 2020 and 2016, completely different story. 2016 was a referendum against Hillary Clinton. 2020 is a referendum of Donald Trump. We've had 4 years of his presidency, and it's all about whether he's able to maintain that Obama-Trump coalition. The Obama voters that went with Obama in 2008 and 2012 and then voted for Trump in 2016, which is a large contingency of the Blue Wall and the Rust Belt in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan, those states that Trump carried, even Ohio as well. I think you and I probably agree that Ohio is a foregone conclusion going to Trump.
My mistake. He did not win West Virginia.
Okay, all right. Huh?
Yeah, he won Virginia, Ohio, Iowa. That was the big pickup. I knew it was one of those states. Iowa, North Carolina. So he built a really big, he took the Rust Belt completely.
Mm-hmm.
And he took North Carolina and Florida. So those were the big pickups.
I see.
He was obviously going to lose Arizona because he was running against John McCain.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the 2000, I apologize to the viewers. He did not win West Virginia.
No, yeah, okay. So he lost West Virginia. Joe Connor, says he lost West Virginia by 13 points in 2008. But West Virginia, none the wiser, says is such a weird state. Manchin has been there for a while. They have. It is a weird state. They are also the same state that elected Robert Byrd. Huh?
Yeah. But Manchin's a Republican. He's not really
he's the most conservative Democrat in the Senate.
Yeah, he doesn't even count really. Like he's like those 1950s Democrats. Like he's one of those.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, West Virginia, as I think we can all agree that West Virginia is just a very weird state. JJ says, I do think there are a bunch of Republicans saying they're going to vote Biden to mess with pollsters. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. And he goes on to say, but voting out Robert Byrd would have been the same as Kentucky voting out Mitch. Not going to happen. Oh man, if Kentucky voted out Mitch, that would be wild. But it's not going to happen. Amy McGrath is just too. She is a very bad candidate, and she spent $17 million, I think, on the race, probably, and more than that. It's just throwing money into a furnace right there.
But you got to take a shot at taking out Mitch McConnell, who is
I get that. I get
least popular person in the Senate for a couple of years. I don't know if he still is. It might be Susan Collins now.
Yeah.
But he was incredibly unpopular. You gotta take a shot. She had some really good ads early on. And I will say this, the map for Democrats, as they've moved to the left has changed so much.
The Overton window, you mean?
Yeah, I'm saying even, in the South, the only place in the South that they used to win or that they're winning now is potentially Florida. And, I mean, now I guess if you consider Virginia to be the South and North Carolina.
I mean, I mean, I'm in Virginia,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Northern Virginia,
And
Northern Virginia is just entirely different from the rest of Virginia.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Northern Virginia is basically Southern Maryland, essentially.
100%.
I think, you know, I would say, I mean, you got to remember Bill Clinton, and some of you fact checkers go and fact check me on this, but I'm pretty sure Bill Clinton won Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee. Like, he won all of those
he
things.
had a pretty good. Yeah, let's look at the 1992 electoral map.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won Louisiana. Well, he's from Arkansas, but he won Louisiana,
Yeah, he won Louisiana,
Arkansas, and Tennessee, I believe.
Let's look at it. And he got 370 electoral votes. Yeah, he got Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. Yeah, look at that's just such a wild map to me.
Maybe it was Bill Clinton I was thinking about that won West Virginia. But Bill Clinton, you know, he took a lot of votes out of the South. And he's a Southern guy, and the Bushes are kind of fake Southern. But like for Democrats, it shows that things have changed for them as they've decided that they are going to kind of be the party of inclusion and people of color. The map has changed dramatically, and they were able to forge this incredible map in 2008 that I'm looking at.
Let me pull it up.
But then again, John McCain was not a great candidate, and Obama is like the candidate, like straight out of central casting. So that was kind of a mismatch. I don't even know if
that's an insult anymore. Every time I hear central casting, it's like used in such a derogatory way now.
Well, it can be. It usually is. Like Gavin Newsom is out of central casting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To a certain degree, Gretchen Whitmer is out of central casting.
It's like, they just.
But Obama.
Go ahead.
Obama, when I use it, it means something different. Like when I say Obama, it was like Obama in his 40s, young, handsome, but also had a certain charisma that you could only dream about from a politician.
Yeah.
And, incredible, like, speechwriter.
Yeah.
And he wrote his own speeches, which was crazy.
One of my favorite things about this Obama win in 2008, look at the popular vote total. Look how nice that is. 69,000 votes. I'm sorry, 69 million votes.
There you go.
That's extra nice. But yeah, look at that. You got Florida, North Carolina, Virginia. Virginia, I think, was the first time it went blue in like over 20 years or something like that. Oh, wait, no. 1992. Was that the last one? Or 96 when Clinton won it? Oh, anyways, whatever. He got,
tell you this.
Look at that. I mean, the Midwest, crazy.
The depressing thing that Hillary Clinton, did was like totally F this map up. You know what I mean? Like totally, screw up in the Rust Belt, and honestly, I know people think, if the political world was a true meritocracy, Hillary Clinton should have been the candidate. So I understand like a lot of the like the white feminists, and I say that both in a positive and negative sense. Like, I understand that they're like, yo, Hillary Clinton was the most qualified candidate to be president in American history. And that is probably true. But this is still a popularity contest. And she was unpopular. So she was the wrong candidate.
God.
You got to get somebody who comes out of nowhere and inspires people. That's what Obama did. That's what Trump did in a negative sense, is come through and inspire people or scare people. And Obama inspired people. Trump scared people to a certain degree that got people fired up and go out to and got them out to the polls. So, and Hillary Clinton was unable to do either.
Yeah.
Other than motivate the right.
That's the thing, and I think people it's understatement of the century how much people hate Hillary Clinton, and people wake up in the morning hating the Clintons. And the main difference now is that there aren't nearly as many people that wake up hating the Bidens. Sure, they might think that, he's a corrupt politician, but like, I don't think many people look at Joe Biden and think this guy is straight up evil or like a devil worshiper. They definitely think that of the Clintons. So it's just like night and day. Anyways, here's a 2016 map. Just look at that. Look how bad. Look how much Hillary fucked that up. It's just, it's so wild to me.
Unbelievable. Like Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio. I mean, she lost Ohio by 400,000 votes. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah, Ohio was not close. That's why I pretty much cast it in the Trump win column for him this election cycle, because I don't, with a margin of victory that big, I don't think there's really anything. I think obviously the margin of victory for him in Ohio will be smaller this time around, but I still think he wins by 4 or 5 points. I think he won by 8 points. He won by 8 or 9 points in 2016.
Here's the thing. I don't think Biden offends people the way Hillary Clinton does.
Right, I agree with you. And the basket of deplorables, the basket of deplorables line, that was really bad for her.
Yeah, but it shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, it really shouldn't have been. She shouldn't have said it, but because she just gave them a rallying cry. You know what I mean?
Right, and I don't think Biden has done that nearly enough. Tico Key says Kamala Harris has got serious Hillary Clinton vibes, though. Yeah, that might be the one. That might be something that people look at and say, and whether you think it's like racist or sexist or not, about like a woman having political ambitions or seeking power, that's one thing. Kamala Harris, I think people on the left and right look at her and see someone who isn't, when it comes to her record as a prosecutor in particular, that has been a huge knock against her on the left. And that's one of the reasons why she didn't get the nomination.
Well, also because she ran a very poor campaign.
Well, that too. Broke. She let her sister basically become the campaign manager while also paying a campaign manager.
Yeah, and moved the campaign in the middle from DC to Baltimore. Like, she made so many avoidable, errors.
Yeah.
And she comes from a big donor state and still ran out of money. That doesn't look good as a president, to be honest.
I mean, if Kamala was at the top of the ticket, then I'd say we were looking at a similar Trump victory. But because she's not, I think the biggest thing about this race that people aren't talking about, and I think people have tried to get away from, is just how old Biden is, and their work, and this is you probably saw this clip earlier this week about 3 months in, from a Trump rally. Trump's like 3 months in, Biden shot. Okay, Kamala, let's go. I think he's really. I haven't heard it nearly as much about him saying that Kamala is just literally a heartbeat away from the presidency, but he hasn't hit it enough. There's just so many things. It's just such a scatterbrain campaign, in my view. They haven't really focused on one particular message like Trump did in 2016 with Hillary. Talked about how corrupt she is and draining the swamp. Those are the final messages that he went with. I'm not seeing that right now. Of course, there are a few days left.
No one gives a shit about Hunter Biden, and you're absolutely correct about that, Siraj. Unless you're a complete sycophantic Trump, on your knees for Trump. You know what I mean? You need some knee pads.
Yeah.
You don't care about Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit. So to me, he just doesn't have that same offensive odor that Hillary Clinton had.
Yeah.
And I think that's to his advantage, because for people on the left or people even in the center, freaking Trump reeks. Everybody hates the guy. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well, and I don't think the Never Trump contingency within the Republican Party is as big as it was in 2016. It's definitely shrunk, but we'll find out. I don't know if we'll actually be able to find out the contingency. But it seems like their voice has gotten smaller. They sort of like consolidated to like things like the Lincoln Project, and you have outlets like the Bulwark and the Dispatch. These conservative outlets that are largely anti-Trump.
Yeah,
They
I agree with
definitely would rather see Trump lose so that they can, wag their finger and say, see, we tried national populism. It didn't work. Look at the results of this election. Let's get back to what we were doing for so many years of this like neoconservative establishment Republican policies. And let's start winning again. And that's when you get the people like Tom Cotton or Josh Hawley or Nikki Haley, start throwing their hat in the ring. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lineup of people who are trying to be like the old school compassionate conservative without offending the Trump folks. So you got Nikki Haley, who's been just pro-Trump enough, but just to the compassionate side enough that she could actually come through. And I think honestly, Ivanka, I'm really afraid of Ivanka. I'm not even gonna lie. Somebody on the left, Don Jr. is a dillweed. Nobody takes that guy
The thing
seriously.
about no, even people I think who are fans of Trump look at Don Jr. and be like, yeah, there's no way he's going to become president. Like with his,
Yeah, I mean that dude is
it's
like
everything. He is a bigger shit poster than his dad, and he's just not a serious guy. I mean, I'm not serious, and I'm saying that he is not a serious guy. Ivanka
you're not serious, but you're impressive. Like there's nothing impressive about Don.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. Dr. Jason Nichols, everyone. Habibi of the hour.
Ivanka, I think, is somebody who she makes Trumpism respectable. You know what I mean? Like
she's very polished, and I think people have tried to come at her real hard for just simply working for her father. But like that's it. I haven't seen like anything she's done or said that's fucking weird. Like no, you don't get that with Ivanka. That she is so careful about what she puts out there, and she's smart. Well, I mean, I think many people in Trump world believe she's a Democrat, like her husband Jared Kushner, and that might be the only like fault against her. But in a
but her dad's a Democrat. Like Trump is an old, like he's literally like
a 1950s Democrat, like you said.
Yeah, the 1950s Democrat, New York swampy kind of Democrat, that was around corrupt, paying off corrupt politicians and the mafia, like all of that. He's that kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like, so I really think, no one gives a crap if you're really a Democrat or a Republican.
I know. I think there are a lot of people within Trump world who think of Jared Kushner as someone who has been working against the president, not for him. Like they think that like
people think that about Jared Kushner.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that think that about Kushner. Oh yeah, him and Ivanka. They think that if if Trump would get so much more done if he did not bring Jared and Ivanka to the White House.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know how they come.
People have their thoughts about it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what the Habibis think in the chat, but let's just highlight a few comments. Danny Boy says, "You realize there's a legitimate movement in the Democratic Party called Settle for Biden." Yeah. I mean, the thing is, given what we saw in 2016 with Hillary and thinking that she had it in the bag, there are a lot of people who are willing to just go out and vote for Biden because they don't want 4 more years of Trump. I mean, Trump is a known commodity. He is someone who has won before, and people are probably very scared. I think Democrats by and large are terrified at the possibility of getting 4 more years of Trump, and I think that is the motivating factor for them to go vote for Biden. And that's where I think is the key difference in this race as opposed to in 2016.
But the thing that Trump has done really well is to play into a large portion of people's cynicism about government altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's basically like, I'm the anti-government government official, which is like ridiculous. But that's what he's really, kind of fashioned himself as. Like, I'm anti-government, I'm anti-media, all of these structures that want to control you, I'm not that, so you should go with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there is a population of cynical, contrarian people. Like I see it amongst a lot of black men, a lot of brothers out there who are cynical because with good reason,
Mm-hmm.
because of the way they think government has functioned and has not helped. And also, they are contrarian. They hate being told what to do. And they feel like they're being bullied by Democrats and telling them what they need to do rather than allowing them to come to their own conclusion, which actually pushes them closer to someone like Trump. It's kind of like, the old Trump fuck your feelings type of thing.
Yeah.
These guys know Trump is racist. You know what I mean? They absolutely know Trump is racist unless you're famous. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just like there was a scene in Do the Right Thing. I don't know if anybody saw like Do the Right Thing. There was a part where Trump. There's a part where Spike Lee is talking to this Italian guy who's like, "Yo, I don't like black people or whatever." And he's like, "Well, who's your favorite basketball player?" And he's like, "Larry Bird." He's like, "No, it's not. It's Michael Jordan." He's like, "Who's your favorite singer?" He's like, "Billy Joel." He's like, "No, it's not." You know what I mean? It's Michael Jackson. And the guy's like, "It's different. They're bigger than black. They're not black." You know what I mean? And it just showed that kind of cognitive dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Trump has that. Trump is like that guy in New York who's like, yeah, I'll take a picture with Lil Wayne. Hey,
Oh my
but
God,
in reality,
that happened yesterday, and I completely forgot that Lil Wayne endorsed Trump. That was the October surprise that I was waiting for. That came out of nowhere.
And it's funny. I don't know. I'm one of those people who has a really straight thumb, so it's always weird for the people who have that crooked thumb. So that always weirds me.
Kind of crooked. But... let's see. So OG2 Bear says the John Turturro and Spike Lee, great fucking scene. Let's see. I'm a lawyer says, I think Siraj is about 2 years behind on the Kushner versus Trump view. This was more of a thing when Bannon saw them as a threat and was leaking this every day to the media, but I haven't seen it since he's been gone. Well, that shows you that the leaks are gone, but maybe the policies remain the same. I've heard it a lot still, even though it might not be out in the open. The Atomic Playgirl says the last 4 years have been decent, and the doc is right. Also, Trump is a businessman. Let's see. Over under on the black vote for Trump. So I pulled up the tweet again that we see here. The swing to and from Trump from 2016 post-election via CCES. If you look down here, the black vote, Clinton plus 80, the Biden plus 77. So that's a 3-point swing in favor of Trump. What was the? Do you know what the black vote was in 2016 for Trump? I thought it was in like the 8. I thought it was 8 or 10%. Yeah. Yeah. I think that goes up to double digits this time, but I don't think it's going to go up in the places where Trump needs them,
The problem with the black vote and going to Trump, I don't think anybody fears that a bunch of black people are going to start voting for Trump.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are not enough of them in enough places for Trump to get past the finish line.
Yeah. But I'll tell you this much: Democrats need every single black vote in Philadelphia, every single black vote in Pittsburgh, every single black vote in Cleveland, every single black vote in Detroit, every single black vote in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee. So I do agree that it's really important for those states. But I just think that it's not the black people who vote for Trump that I'm worried about. Everyone keeps talking about these black men that are going to vote for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about that as someone on the left. I'll tell you this. I am worried about the rate of attrition, the amount of black folks that just won't vote because they don't like either option.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be really high because, yes, Biden is a guy with 47 years of experience in government and who, has had some serious missteps. Everyone talks about the 94 crime bill, which, by the way, is way overstated in terms of the damage that it did. It did serious damage. It increased our prison population by hundreds of thousands of people. So let me not downplay it. But what I am saying is that if you want to know what caused mass incarceration, it was not the 94 crime bill. What caused mass incarceration was the 1986 Anti-Drug Abuse Act, which Biden also voted for. You know what I mean? So I don't know. If you really wanted to hammer Biden, it wouldn't be the 94 crime bill, because Biden is correct that related to the federal system. Most people who are locked up, the people that I know, that I grew up with that are locked up, probably guys you knew who were locked up, they got locked up in the state system. Very few people went into the federal system. Mm. You know what I mean? The proliferation of the black prison population was not the federal system. It was the state system. So honestly, and it did have the Violence Against Women Act in it. It was a behemoth, mammoth bill. It had the Violence Against Women Act. It had the assault weapons ban. And it had all this funding for community policing. Mm-hmm. So this idea that, I think it's because it was such a big bill, they simplify it like, you voted for the 94 crime bill, or you wrote the 94 crime bill. And the 94 crime bill had 3 strikes in it, which was terrible. But Biden is on record opposing 3 strikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is about the 1994 crime bill, and I'll there's a particular question that I want to posit to you from one of the audience members, was specifically, I feel like Hillary Clinton got more flack for the 1994 crime bill because of the super predators comment than Joe Biden ever got for basically writing the bill in the Senate. That being said, Super Denial asks, what are your feelings on the First Step Act?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Or you?
You.
Oh. I like the act, but my thing is the First Step Act is the first step.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a Second Step Act, right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, where's the second step?
I'm sure they were going to work on it. Let's look up to see what happened to the Second Step Act. So,
you know what I mean?
What did you like about the First Step Act, first of all, and what did you not like about it?
So the First Step Act, first of all, people need to realize when Trump got up during the debate and said, well, the Obama administration, you had all this time, you did nothing. And, Trump said, and, we talked about this last week, that Biden gave the worst answer. We had a Republican Congress. Worst answer. I don't want to hear that crap. The thing I liked was that the First Step Act made what Obama did succeed in getting, which is the Fair Sentencing Act. Ironically, both FSA. The Fair Sentencing Act to be retroactive. So the Fair Sentencing Act wasn't retroactive. Mm-hmm. The Fair Sentencing Act basically changed the disparity between crack cocaine and powder cocaine from 1 to 100 to 1 to 18.
Wow.
But all those people who had been locked up before from that, it didn't apply to them. It was only moving forward. The First Step Act made that retroactive. There have been, what is it, about 5,000 people who have been freed due to the First Step Act?
I think so, yeah. And then you also have to account for COVID. I don't know if those numbers have made things better or worse. I don't know if that. I'm sure the numbers have gone up because of COVID, but you get what I'm saying.
I do want to answer.
Who's asking?
Kurapika Stan.
Kurapika Stan. Trump keeps saying that one. Trump keeps saying Biden said super predators, but it was Hillary.
So, Hillary said super predators, but Biden said predators. He just didn't add the super in it. And when he said it, although again, with anything, you have to put it in context. And I think it was a little contextually different. And Hillary, instead of just apologizing and moving on, you know what I mean? Like, her and Bill Clinton made it worse. Like, Bill Clinton is not an asset. That guy, I'm so glad he largely sat this one out.
Who?
Because that guy has not been an asset.
You mean Obama?
To anybody.
Or Bill?
No, Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill Clinton. Yeah, no. After the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way Bill Clinton is going out on the campaign trail.
Yeah, Obama actually is an asset.
Yeah, no, Obama definitely helps. Hillary does not.
Michelle Obama is a huge asset.
Michelle is helpful because women love Michelle Obama. I actually think I still think people like Michelle over Barack. There's not unless Michelle decides to run, then everyone's gonna hate her.
Right. I like Michelle Obama. Over
I like
Barack.
Michelle Obama.
You don't like her?
I said I like Michelle Obama.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it's I don't like many people, but she's likable. She seems like a genuinely decent person.
Most definitely.
So, but let's see. Oh, so Tico Key says, I'm shocked Michelle Obama didn't decide to run this year. She would have won no problem. I agree. I was making the prediction back in 2016 that that Hillary was going to lose, or the Senate Judiciary Committee letter that was sent by James Comey was explicitly done by Obama. This is me putting my tinfoil hat on. Was specifically done by Obama to try to set up a Michelle Obama 2020 run.
I don't think the Obamas like the White House like people think. They're not.
I know Michelle hates politics, but like, I could have totally seen that actually happen where President Obama tried to throw a monkey wrench into Hillary's campaign to try to make her lose, to try to set up a Trump versus Michelle 2020 election. That would have been wild, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Obamas were like, 8 years is enough. I think they're done. Especially Michelle. I think Barack is cool just, being on Netflix and getting paper.
Yeah,
and I'm not mad at him.
I mean, that's the thing is like people are mad, and even like the stuff with like AOC, it's just such a petty thing with her Vanity Fair cover. She's wearing like $14,000 clothes that aren't hers. They were like, here, put these on. We'll take photos of you and you give it back to us and we'll give you an interview on policy. It's just like such a petty thing to go after her for. But I think it's even weirder that they just don't like Vanity Fair doesn't think that AOC's clothes are good enough, so they're just like, your wardrobe's shit. Put this on. We'll take a photograph of you and then do an interview with you. I think Neon Taster, Gnome Bloom was making that point earlier, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, like I by and large think that it's a stupid thing to go after AOC. Since we have a few more minutes left, I wanted to ask you. Before we go into our 2020 prediction, What is our 2024 prediction? What do you think? What do you think will happen?
Oh damn!
You getting the call?
Hold on one second.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute you. Hold on 1 second. Where is that? All right. So since he's taking that call, let's see. Let's answer some questions. That's so funny that he just got pulled. He's gotta walk out of the room. I'm gonna just hide his camera right now, so he could do his thing. Anyways, so let's see. So OG2 Bears says, I would vote for harmless over Trump or Biden any day. I'd take any president who doesn't hurt us the way both our current options will. Yeah, it's like the thing is every single time it's like I think KRS once said this, whether you have the option, one or two options. All right, I'm bringing him back. Hold on 1 second. There we go. And all right, you're back. You good, homie?
All righty.
You good?
I'm good.
All right, good.
I'm kind of like a big deal. So.
Oh, look at you. Are you getting calls from Fox?
No, this one was the Chinese network or whatever.
Get the fuck out of here with that Chinese network.
Hey, I do the whole axis of evil. Like I
you do Turkey, Iran, China, Russia.
I do them all, bro.
you got Hamas TV. So I was just highlighting this comment from OG2 Bears who says, I would vote for harmless over Trump or Biden any day. I'd take any president who doesn't hurt us the way both our current options will. I keep thinking of that KRS One line in that song Higher Level where he's like, what do you vote for the lesser of two evils? You vote for evil. And it's all, regardless of what happens, the thing is, Obama, while people loved Obama, there were plenty of Democrats who were really disappointed by him because he didn't do enough. And with this whole Lil Wayne endorsement of Trump, I can't help but think that, Jacob Wohl, God bless him. God bless Jacob Wohl, who's currently indicted in like more than one state for basically for fraud and like voter intimidation, voter suppression.
The one who said Tupac would have.
Yeah, Tupac would have been a Trump supporter. Like, would he have been?
Yeah. Oh man.
That's such a loaded question.
What's a loaded question?
Whether Tupac would be a Trump supporter.
There's no way Tupac would be a Trump supporter.
I don't think so either.
I'll say this, unless the Tupac from, 2020 was not the same Tupac from 1994. If you've been a millionaire for 20 years, 25 years, you know what I mean? That could change you. So who knows where Tupac would be politically right now. But as a Tupac fan, someone who listened to Strictly 4 and Me Against the World, I remember, of course, Tupac saying that he was, at one point he was talking about getting out of music and joining the new Black Panther Party.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's not wearing a red stupid hat.
Yeah, I would think that Tupac would convert to Islam before he became a Trump supporter, to be honest with you. Not saying that obviously him becoming more extreme means he becomes Muslim, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, but 50, you gotta understand. Like Danny Boy said, did anyone expect Lil Wayne or 50 Cent to do it? Lil Wayne said racism doesn't exist. So yes, I expected Lil Wayne.
I think Lil Wayne. He gave that interview to Nightline a few years back, and he was like, "Black Lives Matter." He's like, "That has nothing to do with me." He's like, "There's something wrong with you if you you are concerned about something that has nothing to do with you." So the signs are definitely there for Lil Wayne.
Yeah, and 50 Cent, his whole thing was get rich or die trying. Like he doesn't give a shit about anybody but 50 Cent, and he's made it clear. Like even like it's kind of funny how he trolls Young Buck. I don't know if anybody pays attention that he trolls Young Buck.
Does he still troll Young Buck? Yeah. Super Nala says, Wheezy said, I matter to my bitches. That interview was wild. I was watching the clip of it yesterday. I was like, I can't believe I completely forgot this even happened. Because this was so memory hold. People forgot it.
Wheezy even said, you know, I mean, he doesn't really like black women. You know what I mean? He made it clear. The guy said, you know, what was it? How do you say what's never said? Beautiful black woman. I bet that bitch look better red. Like, he's like, the guy is a reactionary. If a white dude said that, you know what I mean?
Canceled within 5 minutes of releasing that.
Yo, if there were a white rapper who said that and I saw him in public, I'd put hands and feet on him.
You throw them.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Like, I would put hands and feet on that guy.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, so Lil Wayne, it does not shock me at all, you know, that he would come out. And then I saw Lisa Booth tweeted, Trump is making republicanism cool. I was like,
the thing is, like, it doesn't move the needle even a little bit. It doesn't.
Yeah, I was like, look, you tweeting that shows how uncool you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to make jokes about it, but like, I think there are a lot of people who are just like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. Like, it energizes the base, but it doesn't do anything beyond that. If anything, I think it pushes more people away from Trump's camp, particularly the independents, and particularly the independents who don't like black people, but also the independents who don't like rap music, which is a lot of people.
And let me be clear, I actually like Lisa Booth a lot. You know what I mean? Like, she's actually really cool people.
Kurapika Stan says, okay, so who do you see as the GOP 2024 contenders? I mentioned before, Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton, Nikki Haley. I actually hold on. But they all come second to Donald Trump if he loses. Because Donald Trump will absolutely run in 2024 if he loses in 2020. 100%. Unless he's not indicted or dead. If he's still alive and he's not in prison, he's running for president.
I don't think so.
Why do you think? Why do you not think so?
I think, and you and I and Daniel have discussed this before.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally gonna happen. But I still feel like, and the idea of Trump having his own network, it's definitely gonna happen. But he's still gonna run for president in 2024. This time with an actual media wing backing him, as opposed to when he had Fox News. Fox News was gonna be. He's gonna pluck the people from Fox News. He might even pluck Sean Hannity from there. I can't see him pluck Tucker. He'll pluck Laura Ingraham. And then he'll actually have them competing with Fox, even possibly beating them in the ratings. And they will basically be his own media arm that he can get his message out so he doesn't have to tweet it all at once. You get what I'm saying? You're right. You called it. You called it before even I think any of us did. And I don't think you said it enough. You should have, but you probably have said it and got me to think about it more. But if he loses, I'm going a step further and saying beyond him forming his own media company and calling it, say, Trump Network or something like that, or Trump TV, I think he's going to use that as a platform to then run for president in 2024, should he lose and not get indicted and also remain alive.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a chance. So you want me to give a very dark...
Dude, I want you to give whatever it is that you want to give, man. Just lay it on me, brother.
Look, I'm going to give you a real dark prediction.
Okay.
One possibility. The really dark prediction is that Trump gets indicted by the Southern District of New York for all of these financial crimes that he's accused of. He knows there's no hiding tax returns. There's nothing he can do. he's going down, he incites his followers to violence from his Twitter account. They're trying to arrest your favorite president. They're trying to put me in jail because I'm against the deep state. The deep state is trying to lock me up.
Mm-hmm.
We have major violence in the streets, major violence at the Southern District of New York offices, major, mayhem. Then the militia movement gets involved because they want to start a civil war anyway. It gets incredibly ugly at that point. I might say, look, if Trump, even if you have evidence of Trump committing a crime, it may not be worth it to indict him. It might be worth it to just let him walk.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because then you'll make him into a martyr, and he will make himself into an even bigger martyr.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People talk about like assassinating Trump or like Trump dying of COVID. Like, you realize if Trump dies of COVID, he's turned into a martyr, and then you can never make fun of him again. Like, that's.
You can still make fun of dead people.
No, you can. You can. I mean, like.
People that do that.
I'm not saying you. I mean, in the immediate aftermath, not again. I guess not. Never make fun of him again. I should say, because never say never, right? But you would definitely get a lot of scorn for doing it, and people will remember that shit, especially if you tweet it out. So, like, what's it called? The former the former Hillary Clinton spokeswoman Zara Rahim, saying that she hopes Trump dies. She still has her account locked on Twitter. And I mean, she's not locked out. Like, her tweets are still set on private, probably because her tweet has been used as sort of like a rallying cry, saying, "See, this is what the left thinks of the president. They want him to die." And it's just like this is someone. It's not just like a random Twitter troll. It's someone who is actually working for Hillary's 2016 campaign as a spokesperson. So. It is. It's kind of fascinating to me to see how people will, use that as a way to say, to your point, when it comes to like letting him walk and allowing people to continue to criticize him and use him as sort of a boogeyman. I feel like does more to rally the masses than it does to say, "See, we got justice done." And then people are like, "All right, I can go back to brunch." So as we get close to wrapping up here, so your final prediction for the election on Tuesday?
So my final prediction is that that we will have Biden come out as the winner in a nail biter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a couple of things are going to come out later on that I think, the Trump people use some malfeasance. But they're still going to lose, but it'll go to the courts. Things are gonna, shake out, and it's gonna get really murky as to who's going to be president come January 2021.
Yeah, I'd say like a one like confident prediction I can make, because while I have a 2020 electoral map saying Biden's gonna win, that's not anything can change. I will say this: I don't think we're gonna get our election. I don't think the election will be decided on Tuesday night or in early Wednesday morning. I think it'll be at least another 24 to possibly 72 or maybe 69 hours. Nice. Before the next president is decided. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think it's the possibility of a civil war starting. I think the likelihood of that, regardless of whether Trump is indicted or not, the likelihood of that happening is pretty high, regardless of who wins. and that's the sad thing.
Yeah, there will be violence regardless of who wins. I think the Trump people are going to claim that if Biden wins, that he cheated.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they're gonna be cheating accusations abound. Like there's not if people were worried about a free and fair election, that like that if Trump is reelected, we won't have a free and fair election. I think we're well past that. I think there are gonna be people who think on both sides that this election is neither free nor fair.
Yeah, no, I have my doubts. You know what I mean?
Everybody has their doubts, and that's just I mean that's just when your trust in the institutions has eroded. You don't have any confidence anymore, and I think that's where, it's interesting because Trump may not have been the reason for all of this, but he sort of exposed a lot of the rot, maybe either through his own administration or simply pointing to it, and as a result, all of us are like really skeptical that anything is going to work anymore.
Yeah. No, I think these, all of our institutions, if Trump stays in office, a lot of our institutions are essentially going to come crumbling down.
100%.
Not completely, they'll still exist, but like the State Department is going to be so weakened. I think the State Department. I mean, it's like in the military, if you get promoted to general, you're an idiot in Trump's eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't like,
Well, we got a few more comments I want to read. None the Wiser says the 2020 election results are just the friends we made along the way. Danny Boy says trying to jail Trump post-presidency would be a shit show on a historic level. Imagine if Trump jailed Hillary after the 2016 election. Jailing your political opposition immediately after an election is a huge affront to our country. And then he says, good, abolish the ATF.
Yeah, but Hillary didn't commit a crime. And some of Trump's crimes.
Pizzagate?
Right. Right. I forgot the global
child trafficking ring, which, by the way, I feel like Pizzagate was just the leading, the opening symphony or the what is it? The prologue to QAnon. Let's see. So finally, so we're gonna sign off here. If you liked what you listened to, subscribe to the Twitch. The subscribe button is below. We are also throwing this up on our YouTube. It's The Balance. It's on The Balance with Dr. I just type in Balance. Look up my name, Siraj Hashmi. You can look up Jason Nichols as well. You should find it under there. Subscribe there. We're also on iTunes and Spotify. So if you happen to come in late or want to listen to it at another time, go subscribe there. And then Jason, we can find you on Twitter at Dr. Jason Nichols. It's actually a much better Twitter handle. I love the previous one, but no one can find you.
Yeah. Nah, it's funny. People say they still can't find me. I'm like, what?
Yeah, here I'm gonna drop his Twitter it's at Dr. Jason Nichols. I don't know why I didn't go through. Oh, there we go. And then what else? So also be sure to follow both of our work in Roca News. That's ROCANEWS.com, right? It's a com, right? .com? Yeah.
Hey, are we
what's up?
Are we gonna do a post-election episode of The Balance, a special episode?
Yeah, we might be doing it on Wednesday, but honestly, I want to do it whenever we get the results finalized. So, we'll chat more about it. We'll chat more about it because there's definitely a lot to talk about, and honestly, I'm afraid that next week I'm just not going to get any sleep. So.
Right. Yeah. No. Next week it's crazy. Election day is going to be crazy. The day after election day, I'm pretty booked up, but I'll make space for the Habibis certainly.
Excellent. Well, Habibis, thank you again for watching. I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Dr. Jason Nichols.
And this
shout out to
Oh, give that shout out again. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah. Oh no. Shout out to Danny Boy. Shout out to OG, Kurapika, Stan, Super Denial.
Yeah, the Habibis are a loyal following, and I encourage everyone to go follow Dr. Jason Nichols at Dr. Jason Nichols. Nate Beebe, who just tuned in, says, "Wait, I thought you were here with Tom Nichols." Well, I will say you're definitely way smarter than Tom Nichols. I'll give you that one.
Shout out to cousin Tom, man. Shout out to him.
Excellent. All right, Habibis. I will see you guys later. I got the list going on tonight. I don't know what time that's going on. Maybe around sometime this evening. We're going to be making the list together, and then you'll see us sometime next week together talking about the election outcome and whatever the fuck happens there. So, anyways, Habibis, stay safe out there. If you haven't voted, go vote. Or if not, who gives a shit, really? You know, we're just two Habibis that just are trying to give you more insight into what's going on. And if you guys don't want to vote, that's fine. It's your right as an American. Or if you're, not even a citizen, then go fuck yourselves. All right. Peace, Habibis. We'll see you later.